How's it? How's it? What is good with the vision movement? Yeah, back at it again, you guys. We're rocking episode 7, of the Vision Inside. Delori Gomes coming at you live, semi-live, from the place of solace and solitude, also known as my patio. So, let's just get into it, right? I think we were talking about last episode, uh, kind of a small, big precedence of anger and fear, and anger being the mask of fear. We kind of was kicking around that word resentment, to relive the anger and how a lot of that points back to fear. And there's a little acronym that I've come to know and adopt um, to my life, right? And so the acronym for fear is frustration, ego, anxiety, and resentment. The some of the primary manifestations of my self-absorbedness or my selfishness is resentment, dishonesty, and fear. Ugh. And again, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, I didn't find these things overnight. There has been many processes, many nights sitting out here just with a good old pen and paper, and writing about my life, and taking a good look, with the help again, the Fate Circle and the God Squad, where they help me hold that mirror up so I can take a look. The people in my life who have my best interests at heart, and in turn, I get to have theirs at mine too. So this thing, where does it start and where does it end? Where does it start and where does it end? And you know what? It kind of doesn't matter, but it matters. But it's kind of like it's not another. It kind of relates to that recycler. The recycling vision that I had shared with you guys in the last podcast. Where did it start in the first place? Did it start with anger? Was I resentful to begin with? Was I always in fear? And kind of importantly, how have I taken that, manipulated it, crafted it for my own self-preservation, and how I act in the world? I'm one of those really firm believers, and I have totally adopted this, that I behave in light of what I believe I believe. And no, I didn't stutter. I behave in light of what I believe I believe. So, right, if I believe that I'm afraid to leave the house, or if I believe that what you just said about me is true, that I'm gonna act that way. I'm never gonna leave my house. I have a really big problem taking risks. I won't let go of what is comfortable. Here's a nasty one. I will put myself in conversation with other people to tarnish your good name for the sake of being accepted. Oh, gosh. I can't be the only one who's done that too, right? Where, a really easy, cheesy way to say it is, I participated in gossip. Thank you, God and creative intelligence and the spirit of the universe, that I have not felt the need to gossip about other people in a hot minute. And if no one's ever told you, like, Gossip doesn't hurt the person you're talking about. Gossip hurts the person that you're talking to. And I'll put that in the I. Gossip doesn't hurt the person that I'm talking about. Gossip hurts the person that I'm talking to. And then it becomes this thing called a silent contract. Ooh, we segue into a whole nother can of worms, right? I I bind you, and we are bonded by this silent contract, right? And now I've sworn you to secrecy, and you have sworn me to secrecy. And which part of fear am I living in then? Yeah, I believe I'm living in all of it, right? Like, why am I frustrated? And here's the part where I get to unpack that. Why am I frustrated? Well, because you shared information with me that I really didn't need to know about, but now that I know, and now I have to keep that secret for you. And like what doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. And I don't want to be anyone's secret keeper. I don't want to be anyone's vault for that kind of talk. And then I get all wrapped up in my ego, right? Like I become that person for you. I become that toxic vase where you just keep pouring into me. You keep pouring lies and shame and guilt and anger of someone else. You keep pouring that into me. But because I'm so full of ego and so self-absorbed, I enjoy it. Yeah. I enjoy that you think of me that way, because now I feel adequate, because there is a lack inside of me from this lie that I've been living in of inadequacy. Because somebody told me a really long time ago that you'll never amount to anything. And I can't be the only one who's heard those words too. Yeah, you'll never amount to anything. So the only way for me to amount to something is to become something else for somebody else. Yeah, and an easy, cheesy way to say that is I become a chameleon. Yeah, I conform. I conform to the norm of society, which is horrible to say, but it's to tarnish someone else's good name. Oh my God, did you see how they were coaching the team? Did you hear what so-and-so said about him or her last night? Here's a really horrible one. What are they wearing? They shouldn't be wearing clothes like that. Who does she think she is? Now here's a great one. I'll put all of this in the eye. Oh, so what? So now you've gotten your life together, and you helping other people, and you acting all spiritual, or what? So you think you're better than everybody now? Yeah, and I'm certain that all of that is already happening. Yeah, there are people in this world, again, here we go, that don't have my best interest at heart. And this is not the only stage that I have been on. Right? If you know who I am, and if you've been around me, or you might have seen me on other platforms, it is already happening. The part where I come into acceptance, right? One, of who and what I am, more important of whose I am. When I come into acceptance that you're already talking about me, I've already won. Yeah, because it's not whether or not you are talking about me, maybe not you who are listening, but there are already people talking about me who have already tarnished my good name, who have already said, oh my gosh, well, who does she think she is now? And trust and believe, family. Trust and believe, Vision Movement. I have not forgotten where I've come from. I have not forgotten for 1 second where I have come from. From living in that 2-door Toyota Tercel, yeah, homeless, behind Kamalani Playground at Lidgate Park. I have not forgotten where I've come from. I have not forgotten the long, arduous journey, one foot in front of the other to get exactly where I'm at today, to meet resistance, yeah, from other people and of myself, my willfulness. I have not forgotten. So I get all caught up in ego, right? Not just with mine, but with yours. And that you're using me and I'm using you. Oh, and here's the good part, right? Now that I have your secret, and you probably have some of mine, because it's toxic that way. And we are bound, right? We are bound by silent contract. Now I'm just full of anxiety, right? Anxiety is the fear of tomorrow, yeah, and worry is the fear of yesterday. It's just all one big ball of fear. I'm worried about. Are you gonna say something? Have you already said something? What have you said about me? Yeah. If I have the nerve and the courage to tarnish someone's good name, how do I know you're not doing that about me to somebody else? And it's not even how do I know. You probably are. I probably have. And I have. I have. I have been part of ugly, ugly silent contracts. And I choose not to live in secrecy and or hold anyone else's secrets today that cause toxic, just toxicity in my life. To some extent, I've been blessed with this ability and skill and just another platform, right? To be the vault for others, and it's not any kind of in a toxic way. It is, I guess you could call it a therapeutic way, that I've been chosen for that purpose as well, to be the vault for other people. So now I'm in anxiety. Yeah. What are you going to think of me? What are you going to think of me if I don't, yeah, conform? What are you going to think of me if I don't do the things that I don't want to do? Even though I know that they're wrong, I do them anyway so you'll like me. Because what happens if you don't like me? Well, if you don't like me, then I don't like me. And who's going to like me? And then usually, I don't know, maybe 8 times out of 10, I do some negative behavior so I get attention. And whether or not you like me is irrelevant anymore. Yeah, because now I'm getting attention. And a lot of us can look at that in the essence of our kids. Yeah, that sometimes they act out negatively because they're seeking attention. And if my children are seeking attention, perhaps I need to hold up the mirror. Yeah, God, Squad, Fate Circle, help me. Take a look at myself. Chances are, 10 times out of 10, I am being dismissive and distant. And why am I being dismissive and Why am I being dismissive and distant? Probably, again, 10 times out of 10, I'm sitting in fear. I'm sitting in fear, which brings me to the R, yeah, which is resentment. To relive the anger. Oh man, it kind of feels like a big old hamster wheel, yeah, because it is. It is a big old circus, yeah. There is a boardroom meeting happening inside of my head that is absolutely delusional, and I'm the chairman. I am the chairman of the board, trying to direct, redirect, deflect myself and you from the truth, from what is really going on in my life. That at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, I'm sitting in fear. I'm sitting in fear. And a big one for me is the fear of inadequacy and the fear of not being good enough. Or the fear of not having enough. Yeah, not having enough and not being good enough. Coupled together, oh man, that's just a toxic witch's brew right there for all kinds of self-preservation behaviors and thoughts too. So how do we what's a great way to not, right? To not live in fear every day. And legit, right? There are some things that are scary. Yeah. Last year I got to uh, be with my mom on the last days of her life, and that was an absolute blessing. And that's another podcast for another day. But a great friend told me, um, definitely part of the fate circle. She told me one day, the only way to learn how to do scary things is to go and do the scary thing. And so sometimes, right, in some, depends on the situation and circumstance. I hear it a lot, right, that the opposite of fear is faith. And I disagree. Yeah. The opposite of fear isn't faith. The opposite of fear is love. And the primary source of my suffering is attachment. So what am I attached to? Am I viscerally attached to the anger? Because one, I don't know how to let go. Two, I didn't know that you could let go. And three, what happens when I let go? What will become of me then? Who will I be? Who will I become? Who am I? Yeah, and a lot of times when I sit and I unpack that four-letter word, yeah, that four-letter F word, I unpack my fear. And I figure out why I'm frustrated. Why am I so self-absorbed and caught up in my ego? I'm so worried about tomorrow. And then I just become resentful at myself. I become angry at me. I become angry at you. And I become angry at the world. And again, right, I come back to that place where, well, I'm going to dismiss myself from the relationship, whatever the relationship is. And then I'm just going to dismiss myself from the entire situation, whether it be the household, college, work, school, my personal hobbies. Yeah, I just dismiss myself completely. And then I find myself alone and to that place where, well, I might as well just dismiss myself, period. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes that could take months, that could take years, it could take, decades, yeah, to come to that place where I just might as well dismiss myself, period. Uh, an amazing woman in my life told me one day, an amazing woman who helped hold my hand as I was holding the mirror to take a good look at self. She says, the problem is that I'm still breathing. And, the day she told me that, that absolutely rocked me to the core of my core. Absolutely rocked me. It is, for me, it is a deeper layer um, of just being angry and not wanting to be here anymore. The problem, right? The problem is that I am still breathing. Why am I still breathing? Right, there are so many days and so many days upon days where I had invited death into my life. Like, please, please, save my family and my kids from my wretched self. And just, why? Why am I still breathing? So we sit, yeah? Like, where else am I supposed to go? And at some point, I found some hope. Yeah, I found some hope. And again, it starts with a decision. Yeah, it starts with a decision. I heard this analogy, and you might have heard it too, right? That there are three frogs on the log. One decided to jump. How many frogs are left? Well, to the naked eye, you would say two frogs. Maybe one frog. Maybe you say all three frogs, right? Based on your perception and your reality, and my perception and my reality, and where I stand on which side of the room on what day of the week today, the answer is different for everybody. But in my world, yeah, in my mind and in my vision and in my imagination, if there are three frogs on the log and one makes a decision to jump, how many frogs are on the log? There are no frogs on the log. Because today I choose to surround myself with like-minded people, with people who have my best interests at heart. And if one of us jumps, everybody's jumping. Sometimes I don't know why you jump in. But I kind of don't want to be here by myself. I'm coming. Wait for me. Yeah, wait for me. We find that a lot. Yeah, that maybe our friends are starting a new business, or oh gosh, maybe our friends decided to quit a 17-year career job to go and pursue something else that seems absolutely absurd. Why are you doing that? God forbid those words come out of your mouth, my mouth, to a person that I said, I have your best interests at heart. I got your back. I'm here no matter what. You can call me anytime. God forbid those words ever come out of my mouth to a friend who is starting a blind, brand new venture in their life, not knowing what's around the corner, but knowing that they are absolutely being led to do so. So, I sit here yet again, yeah, yet again. It is a consistent and constant process of taking a look at self. Who's on the log? Yeah? Who's on the log with me? Who's starting a new venture? Yeah? Who's dragging their wood leg with practicing a new solution? Right? Like the spaghetti stuck on the wall. Why are we not doing something? Why are we dead weight? Why are we still stuck on the log? So I sit here and I ask myself one more time, yeah. You can unpack this for you. We'll take the journey out with some hope, yeah. If there are three frogs on the log and one decides to jump, how many frogs are left? And I know today, a vision movement, that the antidote, yeah, the elixir, the solution for self-centeredness is to become other-centered. Which means that I don't get to, I can, I just choose not to, I don't get to invest all of my time, effort, willingness into me anymore. I choose to invest and be vested in you and what you want to do. So, one foot in front of the other, one phone call, one text message at a time. I choose today to face everything and recover. Yeah? Recover from what? From the long-lived anger, from the long lifespan of sitting in fear, being in delusion, sitting in dishonesty, lying by omission, gossip, silent contracts. Yeah? I choose life today, you guys. I choose life. So I choose. I can't say that word enough. I choose. I'm jumping off the log. Where you guys at? Let's do it together, yeah? Face everything and recover. And that's it. I think we're going to call it. Uh, I like to say it at the end every time, right? Like, if you've chosen yet again to sit here and listen to some chick talking into a microphone. You listened the whole time. You played it at loud volumes so the person in the other room might hear some kind of message of hope, because you just know that they're struggling. You know they are also sitting in the problem of, why am I still breathing? Thank you. Thank you for sharing the message of hope. And again, thank you for listening to The Vision Inside.